to Let's Talk Nutrition. Great to be with you. Thanks for tuning in. Futzing with my headset. I may have broke it yesterday. We'll see.
I'd rather have you argue with your headset than with the copier.
If the copier is possessed, I'm going to have the priest in our neighborhood come in and exercise that thing. Hope you're having a good day and you're exercising in a different way. That's going to come up in my monologue today. Boy, that was I didn't plan on that segue from exorcism to exercise. For some people, exercising is like an exorcism. They hate it. But it's a good thing to do. And I'll report on that. And there's a related story dealing with muscle. One of the questions I get a lot is, I want to get, these young guys usually come up and, I want to get bigger. I said, okay. And they want to know how to do that. They want to know what they can take to do that. And it's not what you can take necessarily. That's part of it, but it's what you need to do. And we'll talk about that issue. It came up. It was a study. I was trying to get to it yesterday, but couldn't get to it. So I'll get to it today. How long does it take to build muscle tissue? It doesn't happen overnight. That's for sure. So there's a there's a little theme here. We have some muscle exercise theme going on with these studies. You may think, wow, this doesn't relate to me. Just before you reach that conclusion, maybe just listen a bit and see how it might be relevant. All we do know for sure that we were designed to move. Yesterday, I had to take my car into BMW for service, and having some work done on the car too, augmentation on the car. And I was standing there talking with the fellow that was taking care of me, and during the write-up, and I know him. I've known him for years. And so we were chatting, and then as we were talking, this man came across the lot. We were standing outside. And he was, clearly a middle-aged man. Gray hair, had a bit of a paunch on him, dressed very well, looked very nice, very professional. And my friend introduced me to him, and as an executive at the dealership. It turned out we had a nice conversation, and he revealed that he was 60. And I was looking at him, and I thought, he's not prepared. He's clearly out of shape. I started doing this show when I was 60. Gary has photographs. I don't look all that much different. And when we were done talking, I got in my vehicle and I was driving. I'm thinking, that guy is just not prepared. He's not prepared for what's coming. He was flaccid, he was fat, and I'm just going to say this to you, and you can take it for what it's worth. I have no study to tell you about relative to this at the moment. My own experience. When I got sick back in October of 2016, and had a double, as one of my colleagues said, you had a double hit of cancer, Doc. 2 different ones at the same time, out of the clear blue. Who knew? And you all know the story. Most of you do. And I remember one morning getting up in the middle of chemo and radiation. That treatment is devastating. Make no mistake about it. And I looked in the mirror, and I literally talked out loud to myself. And I said, quote, "You've been preparing for this for 72 years, close quote. And my physicians and others have said to me, if you had not been in the shape that you were, the condition that you were in, the health that you had, this would have been a very different experience and maybe a different outcome." And you know what? In reflection now, I think they're right. And I looked at this man, and I wanted to tell him, you're not prepared, friend. You're not prepared. If he would have a coronary, and he's a candidate for one, just looking at his body, there's no way that his arteries are not diseased, looking at his body. All that visceral fat he's been carrying around for so long, the odds are very good. And who knows? God forbid he should get cancer or something. How are you going to wage that battle? So it's one thing to practice prevention. It's another thing to practice preparation. And once you get sick, prevention is over. Now you're in a different modality. And there are so many people like that. They're not prepared. Nobody, this happened, what happened to me, people say, oh, that'll never happen to me. That happens to other people. Yeah, well, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. Even when you're healthy, you get sick. Right? Or you have an injury that's life-threatening. Are you prepared? Have you built up enough inventory of health to wage that battle? There are people around me every day that see me and have been with me every day for 10 months in my workplace and in my private life. And they've seen it up close and personal. I had a man, this is the absolute truth, in this building, whom I've known for 12 years, came up to me a little while back. We were talking, and he said, I just want you to know that you have changed my life, and you have helped me and my family. And I said, how is that? He said, I've never been this close to anyone as challenged as you have been. And he says, at dinner we talk about you and how you're doing this and what you're doing. And we've made conscious, as a family, we've made conscious changes. Yeah. Are you prepared for that moment? And it's going to happen. I don't care who you are. It's either going to be some disease process or some injury. There'll be a moment when everything is on the line. Are you prepared? Come back. I'll share these stories with you, and they sort of relate to that. Getting prepared on Let's Talk Nutrition, Coast to Coast.
I'm Joy McCarthy, holistic nutritionist, and I expect more from my multivitamin. I've researched many vitamins, and what's truly different about Every Woman's One Daily from New Chapter is that it's fermented with probiotics and whole foods and gentle even on an empty stomach. Every Woman's One Daily helps you feel good every day, giving you immune, energy, and stress support and nutrients for bone and heart health. You will notice a difference. Every Woman's One Daily recently won the Best Multivitamin Award, and I love that it's non-GMO project verified. Discover the wisdom of nature with New Chapter.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, and whatever you may be doing. Get connected and join the conversation.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255. Or go to our Facebook page, one word, Let's Talk Nutrition. Or you can go to letstalknutrition.com and actually watch the show. But we stream live on both Facebook and LTN.com. So.
And you can also download the app. And can you catch the show live on the app?
You can catch the archive shows live on the app, but you can also get discounts. You can go through there on the app and go to our discount page, and it takes you to vitamindiscountcenters.com, where you can get a $5 off a $35 purchase by putting in Dr. Garko. Garko, one word.
There you go, G-A-R-K-O. The issue of muscle tissue. You're saying, oh, really? We're going to talk about that? Yes. And I find it interesting that young people are interested in developing muscle, especially young men. They want to get bigger muscles and this and that. And then as people get older, there's a concern because of sarcopenia, where muscle tissue begins to, it's a wasting of muscle tissue, wasting away. And it's harder as you age to maintain muscle mass. So this becomes an issue. And so a study came over the transom that took a look at how long does it take to build muscle tissue with exercise. And I can give you the answer. It won't happen overnight. But more scientifically, being physically active, engaging in resistance exercise, where you're against gravity, will build muscle tissue. How does it do that? In a word, it breaks muscle tissue down, and then you feed the muscle, and then it grows. That's why bodybuilders are so fixated on protein, for example, because they know protein is used to help rebuild muscle tissue. But how long does it take to grow muscle through activity? Well, there is variability here. It depends on the individual. But as they point out in the article, there are some guidelines to keep in mind as you try to do this. And they offer a number of suggestions. First, strength training, as I said, endurance training will have an instant effect on muscles. And with protein synthesis and which aids muscle growth, as I alluded to, 2 to 4 hours a week of working out doing resistance training, you'll start to get an effect. Now, some people go to the gym 5-6 days a week and they're doing 2 hours a day. All right? It depends on your commitment and what you want to try to do. If you're not a bodybuilder and you're not going to compete, you don't need to be training 2 hours a day trying to make your muscles get real big.
But there's some people that go to the gym for 2 hours a day and are actually doing about 30 minutes worth of working out.
Right. Well, yes, because they're doing other things at the gym that sort of get in the way. And that is, you can take protein till it's coming out of your ears. That is not going to grow muscle. It's not going to increase muscle mass. It's just not going to do it. You need to do resistance training, the lifting of weights.
Now, what about muscle memory, Doc? What if you're somebody that trained before, you stop training, and you want to get
there's
back?
a lot about that business of muscle memory. What is the science of that? That's a topic for another day. I think what you have a memory for, what it was like. I mean, yes, your muscles will respond to the treatment, that is the exercise, if they've been differently, if they've never been exposed to that kind of stress, compared to if they have been, you're going to get a different effect and a different recovery rate, and so on and so on. Muscle memory, there's a lot of talk about that. I'll have to look closely at the science of that and how much truth there is on all of that. I'm not saying there's not. I'm not ready to do that. Aging is the enemy for sarcopenia and a sedentary lifestyle. Now, you may be thinking or saying, I'm 60 years old. I don't need to do that now. It's too late. That is not true. There have been studies with octogenarians, people in their 80s, who started doing resistance training think it was at either Tufts University or some other place where they were doing this. I recall the study on octogenarians. And some of them were in a wheelchair and were able to become ambulant, walk. It's never too late. Come back, we'll share some more, and we'll show you a schematic. The kind of muscle tissue that we're talking about are skeletal muscle tissue. You have different kinds of muscle tissue. I'll come back, we'll show you a nice diagram of that. So to the question, how long does it take to build muscle with exercise? Again, it's going to depend on the individual, the level of commitment, their level of fitness, and their nutrition, their diet and nutrition. Some people, when we come back, I'll share a story with you, and you understand why I say there's a lot of variability here. LTN, Coast to Coast.
The perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering, you're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
Back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, and whatever you may be doing. In my opening monologue, I mentioned the concept and the principle of preparation, getting ready for the day when you either have a challenging health issue or that could be caused by some disease process or processes or an accident, an injury. Are you prepared? One of the things that helps a lot is, of course, to be fit and in shape with your cardiorespiratory system, but also to have a sufficient muscle mass, not fat, because, for example, if you would get cancer and have to do chemo and radiation, I promise you, you're going to lose weight. And you need to be fit, and having your body be in shape, that is having enough muscle mass and being fit in that sense, is very important. I found that out personally. So this story about how long does it take to build muscle tissue, there are variables that will influence that. Your age, your health status, your diet and nutrition, your gender, and your commitment. Generally speaking, you're not going to see results overnight. It's going to take several weeks to several months. Certainly within 6 months you will see a difference. You might start to see a difference in 3 months, depending again on those variables. And it takes a long time. Now, there are other variables too, but I won't get into it. But we have a couple of callers, one in Largo. Steve, welcome to the show. Great to have you on, Steve.
Thanks for taking my call.
Pleasure.
I turned 65 this year, and the best effect I've had on my muscle mass gain over the last 15, 17 years since the turn of the century, since I've been exercising, is poise, posture, and range of motion. My muscles hold my skeleton together. I walk upright. My shoulders are back. My chin is out, and I have a long stride. And this gives a general first impression, like you were talking about the guy in the distance you saw that was 60. That was your first look at your first glance. That was your impression of him. And when you have proper muscle mass and you have the good poise, posture, and range of motion, it's an impressive. You look younger, you look healthier, you feel better, and people can tell.
Yeah, there's psychologically, you feel better about yourself. It just gives you. Some people experience a higher level of confidence. It's interesting how that works. I mean, body and mind are connected. But it takes a commitment. I mean, this is not something that happens overnight. You have to work at it, as you well know, and go into the gym. Some people, that's why they invented machines. Those machines weren't invented for bodybuilders. Those were created for the general public because they didn't like free weights. And Nautilus was one of the first companies, and the owner lived right here in Florida, and that they're still around today, but those machines were created for the general public. Bodybuilders and athletes and whatnot have now got onto them and realized that they're useful too.
That was my first machine, was a Nautilus machine.
They're good machines. They're still around. So, how many days a week do you go in?
I use a gym when I'm on regular training schedule 3 times a week.
There you go.
Anywhere from 1 hour to 2 hours.
There you go.
I'm mainly a swimmer. I swim 250, 300 miles a year, and but in recent years I've gotten a bicycle and I do the weight training like you're speaking of.
Yeah.
And there are others that you speak of that you can watch people develop in the gym. And I know guys that are 70, 75, 80 years old, and they walk like they're 50. Because their muscle mass supports their bones. They don't have a humped over back. They don't have... Exactly.
It supports their frame. I mean,
right.
The muscles are what makes the bones move, man. Without the that's what you're. Yeah, and we could get into some anatomy and engineering issues and whatnot, but you're absolutely right. And people get confused. There's aerobic activity, cardiorespiratory activity, walking, running, dancing, so on. That's great. That's not going to build necessarily. You can build muscle with that, but it's extraordinary hard to do. Weight lifting, resistance training is how you build really muscle. Swimmers lift weights. They do. The coach, one time they thought, no, they shouldn't do that. But I know swimmers that do lift weights. You look at these Ironman contests, Steve, biking, running, and swimming. Some of those athletes are pretty muscular.
Well, that's an extraordinary feat to be in such condition to be able to do that, a full Ironman. I couldn't. If I was 25 years old and had 3 years and $500,000 to train, I don't think I could do an Ironman.
I know. It's tough stuff.
That's tough stuff.
It is. Well, keep doing it and keep calling and sharing your story.
We got a friend that does triathlons.
Tough. It's tough. I mean, I've been tempted, but it takes a huge commitment. But stay with it and stay in touch with us. It's nice to hear your voice. I haven't heard from you in a while.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Tracy Kreider's my guest today. Let me bring her on. She's an educator with, Country Life Vitamins. Ms. Kreider, Dr. Kreider, welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. It's been a while since you've been on. It's great to have you on.
Thank you. 3 months is a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like longer than that. You sent me a little text. What's this business about drumming on a ball for exercise? What's that all about?
So it is a new exercise that's out where you have an exercise ball that's sitting on top of a your regular kind of bucket, with the handle, so the handle's up. And you have drumsticks, and it's to music, and so you're drumming up in the air, drumming on the ball, drumming on the floor, drumming over. So it's totally high-intensity aerobic and it's fun. Couldn't be a drummer like you and actually make music other than the pound that you have on the exercise ball. But there's several videos if you go and just put drumming for exercise. There's new classes coming out, and my friend had posted, hey, I'm going to a drumming class, and I was like, got a lot of things I got to do, not quite sure I can go. And as always with me, sharing different times that you come to my mind, and it's usually when I'm
Gary, I don't know if
going through something. You're inspiration throughout multiple ways. But
I appreciate
the monologue was a great push.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about preparation. I don't know if Gary can find it. If we have some video of me drumming, we'll see if we can dig that up. We'll see.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
Muscle tissue, maintaining muscle tissue as you age is a very important health concern, because as the aging process being what it is, biology being what it is, it becomes difficult to maintain muscle mass as we age and to create muscle tissue as we age. Welcome back to the show, and welcome to the show if you just dialed in. My guest today is Tracy Kreider, educator for Country Life Vitamins. Of course, she mentioned this new form of exercise involves drumming. Of course, I was a professional musician for many years. Started playing music when I was a boy, and played drums. We're showing you a photograph that's in studio. That was a while back. I was in the middle of chemo and radiation. My God, I was so thin. Look at that. Holy cow, I didn't realize, Gary. The hair is long, and there I am. I was practicing. I still do practice, and I was practicing between breaks. That was in studio. That was a while. That was just recently. I must have weighed 140 pounds in that photograph. Oof. Anyway, Tracy, welcome back. So this is a new. There it is. Now Gary's showing the extra. What's that called, Gary?
Drum circle.
Drum circle, where you have drumsticks and those the exercise balls. It's a group of people. I don't know if you have if you're watching Dr. Kreider on your computer, but we're showing some video of this new form. This looks good. Is it fun? It looks like fun. Are they having fun? Do you have fun doing this?
I have never done it yet. This is you're inspiring me to go do it. That was the whole point.
Did you see that video? Do you have your TV?
Yes. I just sent that to him, and that was one. And so you see people kind of going back and forth on their exercise ball. Then in a little bit, you'll see them kind of going up in the air and then squatting down to the floor. This particular group is kind of really close. Usually they're a little bit more spread out, and they'll use the floor and they'll use the air and things like that.
Mm-hmm. There's a difference between resistance training and endurance training. Resistance training involves the building of muscle tissue. Endurance training involves making your cardiorespiratory system more efficient and functional. And, lifting weights, any kind of resistance, using free weights, machines, doing push-ups, squats of one sort or another, all kinds of different forms of that resistance training, different exercises. Swimming is a phenomenal endurance training form of exercise. That, as I look at that video, it looks like a lot of cardiorespiratory activity and moves.
It appears to be so, and definitely that's one thing that I have found out in our new farm life, our new country life that we're living, that I desperately need not only strength, but I definitely need to get my cardiovascular up in some way.
So you moved from Florida and you moved to what state?
Michigan. Howell, Michigan.
Yeah, and you did that in the middle of winter. Most people were leaving Michigan in the middle of winter to come to Florida. You moved to Michigan in the middle of winter to go.
Yep. Valentine's Day, we arrived, had a couple of experiences with snow, and preparing for what's to come. To experience our first winter here.
You're a woman, of course, obviously. Are you concerned about osteoporosis?
Absolutely.
Weight training is a wonderful therapy and prevention therapy, if you will, against osteoporosis, as you know.
It's one of the things I tell people. It's a free way to build your bone, is to do some weight-bearing exercises.
especially women
So on
who
top of the drumming, I'll have to incorporate some type of weight-bearing exercises. Perhaps shoveling snow.
Shoveling snow would be. You'll probably get your share of that. Push-ups, squats, anything where you're working against gravity will help. It does make a difference. The muscle to fat ratio, body contour is very important. But diet is also important, and getting enough protein. You all have a wonderful, Country Life has a wonderful, in their biochem division, that brand of Country Life has a wonderful, wonderful protein products. It has wonderful protein products. Could you just mention and talk about those a minute?
Absolutely. Biochem has been a leader in whey protein for many years, and as we know, there's a lot of value to whey protein for a variety of reasons. One being a complete protein, easy to digest, and ours is grass-fed, non-GMO, soy-free, all the great things that people are always looking for. Kind of standard right now, but standing apart maybe from some of the others in the industry that are all also obviously great products. We're proud that we source and make ours in the USA. Mm-hmm. So supporting that U.S. local economy and the U.S. local farmer is important to us.
Absolutely.
And without getting into any details, because I know we're almost at the end of the show, it's a whey protein.
End of this first part. Yeah. But go ahead, make your point.
Well, there's different forms of whey protein, and so whey protein concentrate, that first part of the whey creation, has fat and lactose and cholesterol, and certainly a need to take that whey protein concentrate. That's personally my favorite. And the whey protein isolate, and we have both in the Biochem line. And many people, I think, are shy about whey protein because they feel that it's not digestible or they have an issue with lactose.
Right.
So it's lactose-free, and one that I know that you've started to veer away from with your new change in life and plant. I can't wait to talk to you about that.
Yeah, plant-based. We can talk about that in the second hour. A plant-based approach. Companies now are coming out with plant-based protein products. That's really
we also have in the Biochem line too.
We'll talk about that. And you need protein, but eating protein does not grow muscle unto itself. It does not. You need to exercise. You need to do resistance training, as I mentioned, to grow the muscle. And the paradox is you break the muscle down and then build it back up. That's how it grows. That's how it gets bigger. Now, you don't worry about becoming muscle-bound. That ain't going to happen. You can lift 3 hours a day. I suspect you're not going to get there. You are listening to Let's Talk Nutrition, always seeking preparation. Welcome to the show. Great to be with you. Thanks for tuning in today. You are listening to Let's Talk Nutrition. If you were fumbling with your radio and not quite sure what you found, and we do this Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, live, 2 hours. The show does air 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern, but since it's syndicated across the U.S., including Hawaii, it does air at different times in different markets. And since it's global now, and we know this, clearly airs at different times. In the month of August, we had 1.5 million views of Let's Talk Nutrition, people watching the show around the world in different countries. Isn't that right, Mr. Gilkey?
Yes, it is, Doc. I'm excited about it. I mean, we're getting messages, we're getting emails, phone calls from people all over, not including just even Facebook. Hey, enjoyed watching today from London. It's unbelievable.
We're making our way, and we like it because we're trying to educate, empower, and to do that in an entertaining way. And entertaining doesn't mean being funny. Entertaining meaning that it compels you to keep listening in whatever way. Sometimes it is lighthearted and have a sense of humor. Other times, entertaining can be very serious and, passionate and compelling in that sense. So that's what we're trying to do, so that people can take charge of their health, wellness, and well-being, and then live a long life with quality of life. In a word, that's what we're trying to do. And my guest today is Dr. Tracy Kreider, educated for Country Life Vitamins. Just to put a point on this theme I had in the first portion of the show today. It turns out that the importance of muscle tissue, I just can't stress it enough. Muscle mass is critical, clearly, for athletic performance, and for most people, though, it's for health and survival. You may not think of it that way, but I'm trying to reframe it for you. And you have the muscle mass is hard to maintain because of biology and that aging process. You have athletes and bodybuilders, and they want to increase muscle mass and strength for competitive purposes. I get that. But this show is constituted of many kinds of people in many different phases of life, and so on and so on. You have elderly and people in midlife who are either recovering from or are restricted from activity because of illness, but yet they need to increase their muscle mass to increase their functionality and quality of life so that they can get around. You talk to people who cannot do that, and they will tell you that the ability to get up and walk, the ability to get out into the world, is one of the primary variables or factors that influences the quality of their life. Being housebound, being chairbound, is very depressing. So this business of muscle mass is not just for the bodybuilders and athletes. It's for everybody. And I would encourage you, if your insurance will pay for it, if you're suffering from an illness, an injury of one sort or another, whatever has happened, if you're entitled or qualified, and you can get some physical therapy in the home, please sign up for it. You paid for it. Use it. It'll make a difference in the quality of your life. We have many people who listen to this show, quite a few, I don't know how many, but we have quite a few who are physical therapists and go into people's homes. I know Daniel is one of them. He calls the show from time to time. No, I look up and there's his name. We'll get to him in a second. Tracy, Dr. Kreider, welcome back. You wanted to, we'll get to Daniel in a second, and then we'll let have him. He'll want to talk about it because I know he's a physical therapist. But you wanted to talk about aloe today, and thank you for sending me the information on that. Appreciate it. What is it about that topic that I know you like that? I like it too, because you all make a wonderful aloe product, probably the best in the natural products industry, at least among the best for sure. You selected that for today. Share with the listener your motivation in that and why they should continue listening or watching the show coast to coast and around the world.
Well, I think there was a variety of reasons. One, I knew it was a very loved product, from you and many others, and we've had some discussions about it before. Two, I think we all have issues when it comes to our digestive systems. We are drinking a lot of alcohol and eating a lot of sugar and taking antibiotics and doing all these different things where the stress and the chaos that we've created in our gut, particularly the small and the large intestine, need repair. And it's mind-blowing to think that aloe, so underrated in what I think people would naturally go to that particular product for in a health food store. Traditionally, if we were to ask people, do you take aloe, and then follow that question up with, may I ask you why, many times you'll hear it's because it helps them to go to the bathroom. And it kind of stops there. So I think there's a lot of hidden messages that need to be uncovered about aloe and all that it actually provides, and then the uniqueness of Country Life and the types of aloe that are out there, the one that we sell, and then some of the other attributes of it.
Now, there's an interesting paradox here. Dr. Kreider is alluding to, she said, different kinds of aloe. And she doesn't necessarily mean just in brands. She's talking about literally, chemically, different kinds of aloe. You have the aloe derived from the whole leaf, and then you have aloe derived from the inner fillet. Now, that you may say, gee, okay, alert the media. Well, it's a big difference. And if you're taking aloe for the purpose of better bowel movements, fine. There's a certain whole leaf that'll get it done. But to stay on that day in and day out, month in and month out, year in year out is not a good idea. In fact, could be a detriment to your health. Have I gone too far on that point, Dr. Kreider?
Absolutely not. Really hit it on target. Because, we think different types. Many times when I ask that, people say, oh, gel or juice. And I go, well, you're right on that. Obviously we have those different types. But when it comes to the plant, most of us, we know we can grow it. Well, you guys can grow it down in Florida in your backyard. And many people will go out and just, grind it up, drink it, have those different benefits. And no doubt it may do that. We know of the variety of different benefits that it can give to the skin, very powerful. But inside that aloe vera fillet, and that's, if we were to look at it visually, right underneath that thick outer green, leaf, let's say, of the plant, will be a yellow waxy substance. And as we dig through that, there's a beautiful fillet that appears in the aloe plant. And in that fillet, there are a variety of different things that it can provide to the body, and several studies that state up to 8 ounces a day, which is a very high amount when we consider someone who might be taking the whole leaf form, the laxative form. My gosh, if they took 8 ounces a day, they'd be in the bathroom for all day.
Right. And there's some research to suggest that if you're consuming the whole leaf, there are some real serious health consequences involving the C word.
Are you waking up each day to the life you have to live or to the life you want to live?
Women who are pregnant or planning to have a child have specific nutritional needs. Maintaining optimal nutritional intake is important for mother and baby. Body Vigor's Preferred Prenatal can help mother and baby receive the appropriate building blocks for growth, development, and healthy function. The Preferred Prenatal formula provides essential vitamins and minerals, along with added support ingredients such as folic acid and DHA. Preferred Prenatal also incorporates a bonus herbal blend to help the mom-to-be with the uncomfortable side effects of pregnancy, like nausea, vomiting, mood swings, and uterine health. Support a healthy pregnancy for you and your baby with Preferred Prenatal, exclusively on Amazon.com.
Aloe, as Dr. Kreider sent me and some information on it, and the way Country Life and the way she thinks about it, is known as nature's tonic. And in a PowerPoint she sent me, she mentions that there are more than 200 constituent beneficial elements or constituents, you know, like vitamins, minerals, hormones, enzymes, sterols, anthraquinones, and so on, lignans, saponins, so on and so on. But you have to have the right form. So we're talking about that today with Dr. Kreider on LTN Coast to Coast and literally around the world. We're going to resume that in 1 second. I had a caller. He's hanging out there in the ether, and I don't want to let him hang any further. We don't like to do that. Daniel, welcome to the show. You wanted to comment briefly on fitness and muscle mass and all of that. I know you're a physical therapist. That's what you do for a living. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, Doc. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to just encourage everyone to think about their muscle mass as such an important component of their overall general health. We tend to focus on it, I think, a bit too much as a, something that is optional to our lifestyles. That we can build, we build muscle to look good, to show off, to...
look nice in that T-shirt, right?
Yeah, but oh my gosh, muscle tissue is 50% of our body weight when we're young and healthy. It contributes to so many metabolic activities. It helps us stay healthy. As we let our muscle mass diminish over time, and I can tell you that every one of my elderly physical therapy patients has let their muscle mass diminish terribly. And it's almost, I almost feel sometimes like they've become, because they've lost their muscle mass, their ability to move around. That's, of course, one of the major contributors for muscle mass is mobility. Fixed targets for all the bad things that can happen.
Sure.
If we keep our muscle mass, at least we're a moving target.
Exactly. And many people, once they have a serious injury, a life-threatening or health issue that's really threatening to them, or a disease of one sort or another, maybe comorbidities, in fact. In the earlier portion of the show today, I was talking about preparation and having enough muscle mass inventory on board when that moment happens becomes a very important factor. Have you, at least that's my opinion, based on the science and the research, have you found that to be the case clinically?
Oh my gosh, Doc, you just had me jumping up and down when you were talking about that, because yes, that is so important. The aging process, aging is not a disease.
No, it's
many
not.
of the effects of aging will mimic a disease, and I think I might have heard you say that. I don't know. But in any case, we have to prepare. And what happens to folks is when they age and something gets us, it always does, either an injury or an illness, we tend to drop to a lower level of functioning. We plateau at a lower level, and we never regain that higher plateau again.
Very difficult.
And we let that injury or illness define us.
I know.
So we need to be actively preparing for the process of aging and disease and accidents.
Sure.
And all the things that occur that challenge us.
And you know that because you're dealing with an elderly population, and you do good work and good service for people, and we appreciate your contribution and your comments, and putting, emphasizing from a clinical standpoint, from your own experience, what it means to people who are facing challenges of health of one sort or another. Daniel, thank you so much for your contribution. We appreciate it. Dr. Kreider, welcome back. So you heard what Daniel said, and I think it was well said. That's from a physical therapist. But we were talking about aloe, and we were making this distinction between the inner fillet and the whole leaf. Country Life sells the inner fillet, in a sense, right?
We do. We actually only sell the inner fillet.
And the inner fillet, how that inner fillet is, that's the raw material. And what's done with that inner fillet is going to determine its destiny, and it's going to determine how effective it's going to be once it's inside somebody's body. And Country Life has partner. You share with the listener what that relationship is. I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, and I love it how you phrased that it's destiny. How something is processed, we tend to think that, and we know anything that's processed has been altered in some type of way. And so it's just kind of deemed bad when we use that word. It's about how things have been processed. And we could do that with a variety of different things that are applicable within the Country Life line. And with Aloe, because of the fact that we strictly only deal with the inner fillet, number one, Aloe Corp has designed and really honed in on a process. They have a trademark. It's called Active Aloe. And their particular process, it's called a Q-matrix process. So in this process that we're trying to make positive, they are preserving the most volatile parts of that aloe, the aloe that's really going to bring forth many of the different immunological benefits of aloe.
And you're referring to polysaccharides, right?
Absolutely. Those polysaccharides are often labeled on high-quality aloes. You typically would get a measurement in milligrams of how many polysaccharides are in a particular product. Well, in many cases, there might be, polysaccharides there, but how did they get those in the actual product? Was it processed and taken out and removed and set off to the side, and then processed and taken off and removed off to the side?
Or was it done some other way? We'll find out.
Are you suffering?
Women who are pregnant or planning to have a child have specific nutritional needs. Maintaining optimal nutritional intake is important for mother and baby. Body Vigor's Preferred Prenatal can help mother and baby receive the appropriate building blocks for growth, development, and healthy function. The Preferred Prenatal formula provides essential vitamins and minerals, along with added support ingredients such as folic acid and DHA. Preferred Prenatal also incorporates a bonus herbal blend to help the mom-to-be with the uncomfortable side effects of pregnancy, like nausea, vomiting, mood swings, and uterine health. Support a healthy pregnancy for you and your baby with Preferred Prenatal, exclusively on Amazon.com.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show and whatever you may be doing. And you may be one of the roughly, we just looked at the data because it's as we're live. And so Gary follows the stream, a company that we have that does that, makes that technology possible. Right now, there are about 14,500 people worldwide just on the stream dialed into the show. And you're learning about Aloe from Country Life and knowing that they have a special kind of aloe made from the inner fillet, the raw material, and then a process from that was invented by Aloe Corp to take that raw material and transform it into a form that you can consume and then enjoy the benefits of aloe. And that product is one you can take every single day. The research suggests that you should not take whole leaf aloe every single day, which is for laxative purposes. Bad idea, and has been connected in some early research to cancer. I'm just saying, without getting into the weeds and details on that, but that's the message. Dr. Kreider, welcome back. Explain to the listener and the viewer, please, these polysaccharides, the way Aloe Corp handles the raw material, that inner fillet, doesn't destroy the polysaccharides. So what's the big deal about the polysaccharides and aloe?
Wow. Well, there's a variety of different things, and you mentioned so many of them at the beginning of the show when you were going through all the intricacies of all the items that aloe can provide to you. One that I think is often overlooked, obviously, is the polysaccharide content, which, when we think about aloe and its healing properties throughout the entire body, whether that's the mucosal lining of the mouth, the intestines, things like that. But the polysaccharide content and it being preserved in their way, which is a low heat process, allows this polysaccharide to really begin to work on the immune system in a way that people don't ever think about aloe being associated with immunological help and benefit. And on top of that, one secret, we might say, that is often hidden, you mentioned protein and talked a lot about protein in your first hour, and amino acids, of course, make up protein. Aloe contains 19 of the 20 amino acids.
That's amazing.
It is. The only one it's missing is tryptophan. So when we think about everything that we're getting, you mentioned, the minerals and the vitamins and the enzymes and everything else. The fact that it has 19 of the 20 amino acids, making it a complete protein, having all the essentials and then some. Having aloe added to your daily regimen, if you're purchasing probiotics, you're trying to create that healthy home environment within the intestinal tract, we need to have a healthy home environment for those probiotics to proliferate and grow. If it's mass chaos down there, we're, kind of throwing them down there saying, hey, good luck. Hope the best for you.
Right.
But if you create a healthy home environment by creating this mucosal lining integrity, polysaccharides help to contribute that to that factor.
Sure.
But they also have a great immunoregulatory activity that has been noted, as you love studies. There are two that are quoted in the presentation that I had sent to you in terms of being able to vastly increase the immune system, but it's all dependent on how this aloe is processed.
Which goes back to Aloe Corp, the company that Country Life partners with to handle the raw material and then ultimately get it into a form that you and I can consume. And just so you know, if you're, a nutrition nerd, if you will, polysaccharides, poly means many, saccharides means sugar, many sugars. You say, oh my God, I can't do that. Wait. We're talking about complex carbohydrates. Polysaccharides are complex carbohydrates, and they're composed of of 10 to up to several thousand monosaccharides arranged in a particular chemical chain. So, and you just need to understand that this is a good thing and is helpful. And people just make all kinds of assumptions about carbohydrate. I can't wait till the day when all of that nonsense gets taken care of, but it's going to take a while to educate. But you got polysaccharides, you got proteins, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients contained in that inner fillet and preserved with that Q matrix process from Aloe Corp. You have 3 renditions of this, if my memory serves me. The regular, the upgraded, and then something with cranberry, right?
We do. I want to make an add, Dr. Garko,
Sure.
to the glyconutrients as well. Because glyconutrients can also be put into a categorization of what's called a glyconutrient. And Country Life actually used to have a glyconutrient complex that we created. Just like we have essential sugars, or just like we have essential vitamins and minerals and amino acids, we also have 8 essential sugars. And of those, 5 of the 8 appear in aloe. And to make a complicated story very easy to understand, we communicate through our alphabet, using forming words with all 26 letters. But it's hard to have a conversation without using vowels. If we're missing just a few, it would be hard to have a proper conversation. Your cells are always communicating, and missing just one of these precious glyconutrients creates a communication failure or breakdown, and the cells start not being able to communicate with one another. Sometimes they're overactive or underactive. So the glyconutrient content within aloe is, again, one of those conversations that we could spend an entire hour on. There's a lot of research on glyconutrients, and again, aloe, not just having 19 of the 20 amino acids, contains 5 of the 8, and nothing in existence contains that many glyconutrients in one particular product.
877-897-8255 is toll free. The aloe, the Real Food Organics, it's in the Real Food Organics line of Country Life. They're aloe vera. There is what I call the original or the regular, and then there is the aloe vera plus, and then they have cran aloe. They mix cranberry and aloe. Women especially listen up for that, and Dr. Kreider will explain why that is.
UTIs, I know.
There, see, Gary's on here. He's paying attention. Attaboy. And this is dollar for dollar, nutrient for nutrient. The aloe from Country Life is one of the best buys and best things you can take for your overall health, right? You might even be able to mix it with that martini. No, you can't do that.
Did you know that the most...
Are your joints feeling out of date and stiff? Is that old sports injury flaring up? Is your body aching from the daily wear and tear at work? Body Vigor's Joint Ready keeps you at the ready for any joint pain that gets out of line. Unfortunately, as we age, joint pain becomes more common. Body Vigor's Joint Ready can help provide relief so you can continue to go about your day. Our formula contains sulfated forms of glucosamine and chondroitin. Studies show that these sulfated forms are more effective than regular glucosamine bound to hydrochloride. Joint Ready promotes a healthy inflammatory response, facilitates cartilage synthesis, and provides additional antioxidants. Keep your joints at the ready with Body Vigor's Joint Ready, exclusively on Amazon.com.
chance to score. Get the right answer. No, it's not a soccer thing. You get the right answer to the LTN health question of the day, and you can score with a $25 supplement gift card. Earlier in the show, I was talking about muscle mass and health. And I was making the argument that you need to maintain your muscle mass and et cetera, et cetera. Which type of exercise is most conducive to increasing muscle mass? A, endurance training, or B, resistance training. Endurance training is running, swimming, biking, dancing, jumping rope, jogging, skip rope. Resistance training, lifting weights, push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and so on. Which one of those two is conducive to increasing muscle mass and you should engage in throughout your lifespan? Is it the endurance training or the resistance training that grows muscle mass? Here's the number to call to win the prize.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255.
And I meant what I said, Dr. Kreider. In my opinion now, this is an opinion, aloe vera's 3 different forms of aloe, the aloe formula, aloe vera regular, aloe vera high test, and then the cran aloe, they don't call it that. It's aloe vera plus, and cran aloe. Taking those products, dollar for dollar, nutrient for nutrient, is one of the best things a person can do for overall health throughout the lifespan. The research is there, the science is there, and so on. I'm a little biased. You're even more biased than I am on it. Maybe I'm even more biased than you. I don't know, but that's what I believe and feel and think.
Yeah, I know it's always been a product that you have enjoyed and loved and talked highly about, and we certainly appreciate your support and love for the product. I know it's one that really complements our entire Real Food Organics line. Of course, that's a multivitamin line that's gender-specific or not, depending on which product that you choose, that is USDA organic, like this aloe, one of the points that I forgot to mention that a lot of people would love about it. So it is USDA organic. Our Real Food Organics is a line of USDA organic food that actually also supplies you with servings of fruits and vegetables. So it complements that portion of our line. And of course, we're one of the oldest manufacturers here in the United States, up in Hop Hog, New York, which is in Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's an important word. The key word is manufacturer, not marketing company. You're a manufacturing company. There's a difference for people out there that are listening coast to coast and around the world. There are supplement companies, and then there are marketing companies masquerading as supplement companies. Be aware, be informed, be advised. Country Life Vitamins is a manufacturer
in the United States.
Yes, of supplements. So I'm just saying.
They're not coming on a big shipping container across a big body of water. Is all I'm saying too.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a big fan. Are you going to be in Baltimore?
I am. I'm looking forward to seeing you because I know that you'll be out and about, and you'll probably drop by the booth.
Oh yeah. We're going to be by. So make sure you have your makeup on because we're going to film.
Me and Dr. Garko are Emmys.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. Well, that'll be great. I know when you were doing the snack shots the last time, we did one on Maxi Skin and Protein, and those came out well. So let me know what you'd like to discuss so we can have those products there. And
sure, well, whatever you want. I don't like to. I like it spontaneous on these kind of events, and we'll just. Don't worry. You'll have enough pots and pans there for us to do what we need to do. By the way, anytime you would like to stream live on the show, we now have the technology. If you have a computer with your camera, Dr. Kreider, we can stream you live instead of keep showing this still photograph of you, which is a very nice photograph. Don't misunderstand. But we can stream you live if you would like. So you let me know if you'd like to do that. Gary just has to give you, it takes about 3 minutes to hook you up, and you can stream live, and everybody and anybody you know can see you, and then worldwide, they'll see you as well.
Yes, Gary did mention that, and I know Ellen will be on the show for Country Life next week, and then I'm actually on the show the following week, the day before going to Expo on the 11th, so we'll do the live stream then.
Okay, good. We look forward to literally seeing you. Let's go to Tampa, Florida. Steve, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Dr. Carter?
Good, man. What's the answer?
It's resistance.
What? So let me repeat the question so we're clear. We're trying to grow muscle mass, right? And your answer, you're just so everybody, I should have repeated the lead in and the question. The question is, which type of exercise really helps with growing muscle? Endurance training or resistance? Steve said resistance training, and he's absolutely right. You want a $25 gift card, and congratulations.
Well, thank you, Doctor.
How you doing, man? You sound like you're on a cell phone tooling around, maybe.
I am on the cell phone. Yes, I am.
Are you working, or are you just tooling around?
I'm actually working.
Well, good. We're glad that you tuned us in. We appreciate it, and we always every listener is important, every viewer is important. Thank you. We love you for your support of the show and your listenership. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm glad you guys are much better from your illness. I'm very glad to hear that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Steve. And I end the show saying your health is your wealth, and your health is the wealth of those that care about and love you. You know what? That turns out to be true all the time, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, man. You take care of yourself. Thanks again for listening and tuning in. We appreciate it. And thank you, Dr. Kreider, for sharing your insight, your experience. Aloe Vera, Country Life's Aloe Vera. We didn't mention the cran apple. Gary was right. Go on their website. Learn more about the aloe vera products sold in fine health stores throughout the United States by Country Life. Trust, I'm telling you, it is dollar for dollar, nutrient for nutrient, one of the best supplement products you can take, and it's organic and whatnot. We'll talk more about it. Dr. Kreider, I look forward to seeing you next time on the show, and then seeing you in person in Baltimore. Country Life, because your health is your wealth, and your health is the wealth of those that care about and love you.
If you've ever had digestive issues, slow